A raw wind rattled the skeletal branches overhead, sending brittle leaves skittering across the worn gravel path. Street lights flickered in fitful bursts, casting fractured shadows that quivered with every gust. In this restless silence, Ethan tightened his jacket, each breath visible in the cold air as he trudged toward the empty playground. He'd walked these grounds countless nights as a maintenance worker, but tonight there was a pull, a subtle tug in his chest, leading him to the old metal slide standing guard at the park's edge. What secret did this shadowy corner hold? Beneath the slide, curled into itself like a locket of grief, lay a German shepherd whose coat was thick with dirt and grime. His ribs pressed against thin skin, and every shiver seemed to echo the chill of abandonment. Yet in those tired eyes, dark pools reflecting the faint light, there burned an unspoken promise, a steadfast vigil rather than frantic fear. No wild desperation, no frantic scrambling, only the calm determination of a guardian waiting for a promise that time had betrayed. Who was he guarding against, and what kept him here? Ethan paused, recognizing the soldier's stance, ears perked, spine straight, gaze sweeping the perimeters as though scanning for threats. This was no ordinary stray. Years alongside canine units had honed his instincts, the poised posture, the pause between breaths, the silent patrol of narrowed eyes. And each time Ethan shifted, the dog snapped his head back to that one sacred patch of frozen earth beneath the slide. It was as though every grain of gravel held a memory worth guarding to his last breath. Why here? Why this lonely corner? He knelt, careful not to shatter the fragile trust in the dog's measured watch. A soft tap on the ground, a low whistle, the language of handlers and hounds. The shepherd's head lifted, eyes meeting Ethan's without a flicker of aggression. Then, as quietly as he had arrived, the dog returned to his labor, scratching into the frozen dirt, searching for something lost to sight. Ethan spoke gently. "It's okay, friend. I'm here to help." The shepherd neither snarled nor shrank, but clung to that one plot of earth, as if to leave would rend something precious from his heart. What treasure lay hidden beneath those paws? After a moment's hesitation, Ethan slipped off his own jacket and draped it over the dog's trembling frame. Calloused fingers brushed matted fur. The dog flinched but stayed. "Let's get you out of the cold," Ethan murmured, naming him Axel in one breath that felt destined. With surprising ease, he lifted the lean body into his truck and laid him across an old blanket. Axel curled, eyes fixed on the playground window receding into darkness, unwilling to abandon the ground where he had waited so long. What memories clung to that slide in the night? Dawn found Ethan at the rescue center, scanner in hand. When the device beeped, Axel's secret unfolded. A retired 9, decommissioned nearly 2 years ago, once partnered with a boy named Lucas Ryan, not a police officer, but the son of one. 10-year-old Lucas had fought leukemia with Axel faithfully by his side, never leaving him through hospital corridors and sleepless nights. 3 weeks after Lucas's funeral, Axel vanished, only to return now back to the playground that held their happiest days. What bond can transcend even death? Later, in a grocery store parking lot, a frail woman approached, her frame drawn and fragile like a wilted flower. This was Melissa Ryan, Lucas's mother, once a devoted nurse whose world unraveled when her son became ill. She had sold their home for treatments, drained her savings on bills, and now lived out of her aging car, accompanied only by Lucas's crayon drawings and a toy race car tucked into the back seat. When she saw Axel, the name slipped from her cracked lips as if exercising a long-buried solace. Could the past ever offer comfort again? Axel shoved his head into Melissa's trembling hands, his rough tongue pressing kisses like desperate pleas. She collapsed to her knees, arms encircling the thin frame of the dog who had lain beside her dying son. Her sobs, a feral symphony of grief, reunion, and regret, ripped through the morning stillness. Ethan watched, heart clenched, powerless against the raw pain flowing between mother and dog. He turned away, moisture gathering at his own eyes, as he bore silent witness to a reunion no act of kindness could hasten. How does one heal after such loss? That night, Ethan wrote furiously at his laptop, a story of Axel's frozen watch under the slide, of a dog whose loyalty outlasted even a child's life. He posted it on the town's community board. Within hours, messages poured in, offers of meals from a local cafe, a hardware store owner ready to hire, a retired couple opening a spare room. Could this wave of goodwill be the tide that lifts Melissa free? Hope, however, met cold reality. No landlord would risk a single mother living in her car, no business would hire without an address. Each polite rejection drove fissures into Melissa's fragile optimism. Every night alone in her vehicle, she felt the last threads of hope fray away until Axel's body finally betrayed him. The once brave shepherd lay curled and unresponsive, eyes dulled, breath ragged. Melissa's terror mirrored those sleepless nights at Lucas's bedside. She cradled Axel's head, voice breaking. "I can't lose him too. What price is paid when hope flickers and fades?" Ethan didn't hesitate. He scooped Axel into his arms and rushed him to the clinic, covering the staggering estimate without a word from Melissa. She sat on a hard plastic chair, knuckles white, reliving every anxious moment spent in hospital corridors. Ethan joined her, offering silent solidarity. Some pain needs no words, only a steady presence. Can compassion bridge the gulf left by tragedy? 2 days later, a call from housing services brought the first real miracle, a transitional apartment for single mothers with healthcare backgrounds. Melissa, keys trembling in hand, felt the weight of possibility. Ethan rested a hand on her shoulder. "This isn't charity, it's what you've earned." Inside that modest unit, plain walls, bare floors, Melissa finally felt safe. Axel padded through each room, sniffing corners as though marking new ground. Could a humbler life be the gift they both need? Before long, Melissa found work as a library aide at the local elementary school, her patience and care a perfect fit. The principal suggested Axel join the reading therapy program, where shy children read aloud to dogs who judge with silent understanding. Axel, once a crime-fighting veteran, now lay on a soft rug surrounded by giggles and turning pages. From the cold slide in a lonely park to the warm glow of the school library, he and Melissa had found new purpose, united by a bond that refused to break. What wonders await when loyalty is rewarded with kindness? On a quiet morning, Melissa cradled a warm cup of tea on the front step as soft sunlight painted the grass gold. Axel rested at her side, eyes half closed in contentment. She traced his worn collar, the engraving a Lucas, nearly faded but never forgotten. In that peaceful moment she understood. Some bonds endure beyond loss, evolving into something unexpected yet deeply true. A boy's love had first forged this loyalty, and though the boy was gone, that love lived on, finding its way back to home. Isn't that what hope really means? Months later, Melissa and Axel settled into a gentle rhythm that felt almost magical in its simplicity. Each morning she brewed tea while Axel padded to the window, nose pressed against the glass as birds hopped across the lawn. Their small apartment echoed with quiet laughter when curious children bounded in for reading time, Axel's tail thumping against the carpet as he listened intently to each shaky voice. On weekends, Melissa and Ethan met at the park, this time not under flickering street lights, but beneath the warm glow of midday sun, where Axel chased stray autumn leaves, his movements lighter, unburdened. They shared sandwiches and stories, the playground's empty slide a silent monument to their shared journey. And sometimes, when Melissa's thoughts drifted to Lucas, she would stroke Axel's head and whisper, "A thank you." In that echo of a boy's cherished laughter, she felt her heart heal a little more, learning that love, once planted, can bloom forever in unexpected places.